हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे। So we will continue our discussion. So we will discuss very important point here in Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga is in Karma Yoga you are not so much bothered about relationships. More important is rituals. So Daksha was very focusing on his rituals. He was not bothered about the relationship aspect. And when it comes to Jnana partner, there, there it's not so much needed for relation also. The lesser it is, the better it is. But when it comes to bhakti, relationships are actually most important. Lord has given us temporary relationships in this material world. If we are not able to do this very properly with these temporary relationships, how is it possible that we will be able to have good relation in the spiritual world, which are permanent? So Lord is telling, array, like in the company, before joining the companies, there is prohibition period. They will test you for 3 months, 6 months, and if you are performing nicely, then they'll make you regular job. Similarly, this is like prohibition. We are given temporary relationships, mother, father, sister, brother, uncle, aunt, and friends and relatives. If we are able to properly, was husband, wife especially, if we are properly able to handle the relationships, then we are given the same things in a permanent way, the spiritual world, like that. Here, Daksha is not interested in relationships, he is interested in rituals. That's why it is karma, faith. And when we come, relationships will be nice when we are ready to give up our desire to enjoy, when we are ready to sacrifice, even little bit also. Some level of enjoyment we should give up. That's how it works. Like say, parents, wife and husband are there. When the child comes, then they start sacrificing their own pleasures. That only they will be able to bring the child up. And how much mother should sacrifice? She should give up her sleep so many times because the child will wake up at 2 o'clock. He will daytime he will sleep, nighttime he is awake, and mother has to be awake. And she will not have that selflessness is actually what makes the child grow. Same thing, father also he will show his love in a different way, but he also has that selfless. So the point what I am telling is that the sacrifice is what gives the strength. And after some time, when the children goes, then relationship becomes different. That's a different. But still, uh, this is what is helping. But problem is that there is nuclear families, then there is selfishness, and then it is becoming more and more nuclear. Everybody is their mobile, they want to enjoy their own things, and whatever basic minimum they are trying to do for the children, basic minimum they will do for the children, because I need time for my enjoyment. When this came, then the things got damaged. So here Daksha is also doing the same mistake. He is telling, okay, I did my things, now let me do my rituals and enjoy. And then he went into trouble. We started offending. We will just see the, we'll just, yeah. So here we are seeing, although the 6 qualities, education, austerity, wealth, beauty, youth, and heritage, are for the highly elevated, one who is proud of possessing them becomes blind, and thus he loses his good sense and cannot appreciate the glories of great personalities. This is what Lord Shiva is telling to Mother Sati. One should not go to one's house even on the occasion of his being a relative or a friend, when the man is disturbed in his mind and looks upon the guest with raised eyebrows and angry eyes. Lord Shiva says, if one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative. For such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night. So, this is what we discussed yesterday. The greatest pain we can get is from the most dearest ones. This is how the rule of this world is. And they can give maximum pain because they give maximum pleasure. Every coin, any object which is giving us pleasure is destined to give us pain. Rest assured. Yehi sansparshja bhoga dukhayo na evate. If you touch pleasure, immediately there is pain. If any object is giving us pleasure, that object is going to give pain also. Any person we are getting some pleasure, with the same person we are going to get the pain. They may not literally do, but their separation from them will cause the pain. I love somebody, and when I come with him, when I spend time with him, I enjoyed it. Now I have to be separated from him. And that's why death is such a painful thing. More a person is attached, more he feel. What is recommended in the Shastras? Oh, before death comes, you die. Die before you die. Like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj book is there. Die before you die means what? You are getting yourself free from all these entanglements before we leave our body. So that will help us to reduce our pain because I am already prepared. Okay, got detached. So now no more enjoyment with the persons. You are staying in the house, but you are not trying to get any pleasure. You gave up all your sense pleasure, physical senses pleasure, and mental pleasure also. Then we are free to focus on Krishna and go back home back to God. Just to hear is only so pleasing that I am detached from all the worldly pleasures, even at the level of mind. That is more tough. People after some years they give the pleasure at the level of their sensual pleasure they give up, but mental pleasure continues. They enjoy the company of their beloved ones, sons, daughters, grandsons, grandchildren, and all these things. And then some other prestige, power, facilities, and name, fame, all these things like. But we have to give it up. So then we will not get hurt. So then Lord Shiva says, my dear white complexion wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet you would not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me. So Daksha also got the same thing. His most beloved daughter married a person whom Daksha never like only because he is a karmakandi person and Lord Shiva is something different. He is a transcendentalist. So he never like it. Of course, there are many transcendentalists where Daksha is associated, but somehow it is Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So he does not match only. And it quite made him upset. My most beloved daughter is marrying like old movies. We see that no, the heroine is the heroine's father don't like the hero because he is very poor person. Heroine's father is a very rich, wealthy man, big jamindar. And here you have some very poor, some his caste is also not very big. So immediately it's a painful thing. And then he says, one who is conducted by false ego, and there's always this distressed, both mentally and sensually, cannot tolerate the opulence of self-realized person. So this is another problem. So Lord Shiva's opulence was self-realization. But Daksha is only seeing material. And many times, like devotees, I was telling, now, even the crores of people are going to Kumbh Mela. Not everybody appreciate spiritual personalities. They are just interested in the rituals. They say, okay, I'll do my ritual. And self-realized people, oh, they are useless for the society. They cannot do anything tangible for the society. That's why they became renunciate. And they are like bumps and they are like parasites for the society. This is their understanding. And even Daksha is feeling, I am doing something tangible. I am creating children. I have so many wives. I have so many children. I am increasing the progeny of this whole creation. What Lord Shiva is doing? He's just sitting and meditating. He's not able to do. So that's how Daksha is feeling. Being unable to rise to the standard of self-realization, he envies such persons as much as demons envy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, my dear young wife, certainly friends and relatives offer mutual greetings by standing up, welcoming one. So from here we'll do it. and by standing up, welcoming one another and offering obeisances. But those who are elevated to the transcendental platform, being intelligent, offer such respects to the super soul who is sitting within the body, not to the person who identifies with the body. So here Lord Shiva is trying to clarify to Mother Sati. She may question, no, why you did not get up? You could have got, you know him, you know Daksha is materially attached person and he has all these problems. He could have just gotten up and everything is solved. So Lord Shiva is explaining that standing, welcoming one another is common actually. It's a, but then he gives, okay, I should get up and all these things are common. But those who are elevated through the transcendental platform, he's telling about himself. I am elevated to transcendental. Being intelligent, we offer respects to super soul who is sitting within the body. So, Prabhupada writing same thing. It may be argued that since Daksha was the father-in-law of Lord Shiva, it was certainly the duty of Lord Shiva to offer him respect. In answer to that argument, it is explained here that when a learned person stands up to or offers obeisances in welcome, he offers respect to the super soul who is sitting within everyone's heart. Like sometimes, gurus also offer obeisances in return. Like you go and offer obeisances, and guru is also offering obeisances in return. We should know that he is not offering to me, he is offering to the Paramatma in the heart. Among Vaishnavas, therefore, it is seen that even when a disciple offers to his spiritual master immediately returns the obeisances because they are mutually they are meant mutually offered not to the body but to the super soul. That's the point. Therefore, the spiritual master offers respect to super soul situated in the body of his disciple. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur always used to fold his hands when disciple come. And another thing is, we should offer obeisances when Guru is seeing us, not from the behind. Even deities are open, then only we should offer obeisances because it's a reciprocation. If your deities are closed and we are offering obeisances, and deities are doing something inside and they don't know what to do. Right? This I am busy with my things and he's coming and offering. We should always offer when the person is seeing us. Then only we should offer. It's a reciprocation. The Lord says in Srimad Bhagavatam that offering respects to his devotee is more valuable than offering respects to him. Devotees do not identify the body, so offering respects to Vaishnava means offering respects to Vishnu. Like Mother Yashoda, she is going for the milk, keeping Krishna aside. She is giving more value to the milk. That is like everybody is behind the Supreme Lord. I want Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord is sitting in the lap of Mother Yashoda. She is keeping aside and going for the milk. And she is having 9 lakh cows. It's if a few 1-2 liters of milk is gone also, it's not much problem, right? But still she is very careful. Now Krishna is very pleased. Apparently he looked angry and he performed his leela, but he was very pleased because she is more focused. Anything related to Krishna is very careful. Say for example, I am sitting on this chair and somebody comes and starts hitting the chair. He's kicking the chair with his leg. I will feel offended. Arey, why are you kicking me? That person means I am not kicking you, I am kicking your chair. Like if you know this French Revolution, Winter Palace, these people when they went, all these people, peasants, and stormed the Winter Palace. They went and kicked the throne of the king. Now it was empty only. Why did they kick it? It is indirectly telling I am kicking you only. I am sitting in a car, somebody comes and kicks the car, I feel offended. Same thing with the Lord only. If anybody is a devotee of Krishna and you go and do anything to him, Krishna will feel he is offending me because he's my part now. That much serious it is, offending a devotee. It's so clear, right? I am sitting in this chair and you are coming and kicking the chair. I will feel that this person really need to be taken care. Why he is behaving like this with me? And Krishna feels when somebody does it, the devotee he says, "Oh, I have to take care of this fellow. He is offending my devotees," like that. So the point is very clear. If Vaishnava sees the body as the temple of Vishnu, since Lord Shiva has already offered respects to the super soul in Krishna conscious, often in respects to Daksha, who identified with his body, was already performed. There is no need to offer respects to his body, so that is not directed to by any Vedic injunction. Lord Shiva is clear that I already did. I am meditating on Supreme Lord means I am offering respects to all living entities. Everything is यथा तरोर्मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कंद भुजोपशाख प्राणोपहाराच तेन्द्रियाणाम. So here Lord is pleased. That means because Daksha is envious, he is having problem, but otherwise Lord Shiva is doing the best. Sattvam vishuddham vasudeva shabditam yadiyate tatra puman apavrita सत्वे च तस्मै भगवान् वासुदेवो हि अदोक्षजो मेन नमसा विधीयते. I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. This is what Lord Shiva is telling. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. And Prabhupada is stating that the living entity is constitutionally pure. Asangohi ayam purushaha. We can congratulate ourselves for this, that we are always pure. Only thing is external covering is bad, so not a problem. As a spirit soul, we are all pure. Haribol. In the Vedic literature, it's stated that the soul is always pure and uncontaminated by material attachments. The identification of body with the soul is due to misunderstanding. As soon as one is fully Krishna conscious, it is to be understood that one is in his pure, original constitutional position. This state of existence is called Shuddha Sattva, which means that it is transcendental to the material quality. Since this Shuddha Sattva existence is under the direct action of the internal potency, in this state, the activities of material consciousness stops. For example, when iron is put into a fire, it becomes warm, and when the red hot, although it is iron, it acts like fire. Similarly, when copper is surcharged with electricity, its action as copper stops. It acts as electricity. So that means one is already in a pure state. Lord Shiva is in a pure state. And here the sloka from the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last shloka. Mamcho abhivicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He is sagunan, he is beyond the modes. That is the important point. Therefore, Shuddha Sattva, as described in this verse, is transcendental position, which is technically called Vasudeva. Vasudeva is also the name of a person from whom Krishna appears. This verse explains that pure state is called Vasudeva because in that state, Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of God, is revealed without any covering. To execute unadulterated devotional service, therefore, one must follow the rules and regulations of devotional service without desiring to gain material profit by fruitive activities or mental speculation. And then he says, this is a very huge purport. Prabhupada is trying to establish this point very clearly. What is Vasudeva Sattva? He is telling in pure devotional service, one simply serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a matter of duty without reason and without being impeded by material conditioning. So this is also a very important point. Ahaituki apratihata. That is actually what is highest thing. This is called Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva because in that state the Supreme Person, Krishna, is revealed in the heart of devotees. And he explains this Asottara Sata. Ashtottara Shata is added to the name of spiritual master to indicate one who is situated in Suddha Sattva. Wow. If you want to know why 108 Ashtottara Shata, 108 indicates actually unlimited. 108 indicates 1 is Supreme Lord, 0 is metal energy, 8 is 8 elements we are made. That's why the living entity. So it's also indicating. And here one more explanation. Ashtottara Shata is one who is in the Shuddha Sattva or in the transcendental state of Vasudeva. The word Vasudeva is also used for other purpose. For example, Vasudeva also means one who is everywhere, all pervading. Sun is also called Vasudeva Shabditam. The word Vasudeva may be utilized for different purpose, but whatever purpose we adopt, Vasudeva means the all pervading or localized supreme personality of Godhead. So, this so much Prabhupada is trying to explain this word. And he says that Bhagavad Gita says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Factual realization is to understand Vasudeva. Lord Shiva is in this situation. That's why it is explained again. Vasudeva is a ground wherein Vasudeva, Supreme Personality of God, revealed. That's why he appeared in the heart of Vasudeva. When one is free from the contamination of mental nature and is situated in pure Krishna consciousness or in Vasudeva state, Vasudeva, the Supreme Person, is revealed. Jnanam Satvikam Kaivalyam. When one is situated in pure transcendental knowledge, one is situated in Kaivalya. Therefore, Vasudev also means Kaivalya, a word which is generally used by impersonalists. Impersonal Kaivalya is not the last stage of realization. In Krishna consciousness, Kaivalya, when one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one is successful. So this is the action of internal potency is described in this verse as apavritam, free from any covering. Because the Supreme Personality of God, it is name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, all being transcendental or beyond nature. It is not possible to understand any one of them with the material senses. Rishike seven bhakti richate. Only by pure devotional we can understand. We need premanjana churita. With material and vision we cannot understand. And the example stated here is that devotional service cleans the mirror of heart. Cheto darpadamachanam. Abhyasa yogena yukto. Chetasa nanya. By devotional service we can understand. So Prabhupada is again and again trying to quote and establish. He is trying to establish Shiva's position. Lord Shiva said that since his heart was always filled with compassion for Vasudeva, conception of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of God, because of the Supreme Lord's presence within his mind and heart, was always offering obeisances upon the Supreme God. So, in other words, Lord Shiva is always in trance, samadhi. So, Sambhavayo Atmamaya. Sambhavami Atmaya. So, this is very nice description explaining the Shiva's portion. Tatte nirikshayo na pitapi dehakrit daksho mamadvik tad anubratascha e yo vishvasrigya gatim anro aronuma anagasam durvachaksha karotiraha. Therefore, you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Not only Daksha, his followers also. Because of his envy, O most worshipable one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. So sad. Huh? You don't do anything, you get insults in this material world. This material world is so cruel. Even the personalities like Lord Shiva, and who is insulting him? His own family member, his own father-in-law is insulting. If some outsider is insulting, that's a different thing. You have your own father-in-law is insulting you and he is very envious of you. And for no reason. See, if Shiva did something, then you can say, oh, he also did not, he is also no less. In this case, 100% Shiva is actually pure. And maternal nature did not live that also. Of course, for Lord Shiva, it didn't get affected, but it's a lesson for all of us. For a woman, both the husband and father are equally worshipable. The husband is the protector of a woman during her youthful life, whereas the father is her protector during her childhood. Thus, both are worshipable, but especially the father because he is the giver of body. Lord Shiva reminded Sati, your father is undoubtedly worshipable even more than I am, but take care, for although he is the giver of your body, he may also be the taker of your body. Because when you see your father, he may insult you because of your association with me. An insult from a relative is worse than death, especially when one is well situated. This is He is mentioning this word, especially although he is the giver of your body, because he is going to take your body also. And an insult from a relative is especially well situated, means like we are in a respectful position. We already started identifying. I have a good name and fame in the society, and I am start identifying. Then, like I was hearing from one devotee, what happened is his brother committed suicide, and what was the reason? He was into gambling. He was betting and all these things. And unfortunately, what happened is at the time of Corona, he invested. He kept money betting 1.5 crores or something. Not that he didn't had money. He had some properties. He didn't had money. He has to sell some properties to get that money and clear the whatever. Now it was so insulting for him that people will come to know that I lost so much money. He could have sold two, three properties and got the money. That's not a problem. But now, what is the problem is, look, people will make a fun of him. Array, he lost 1.5 CR, you lost 1.5 CR. He don't want to face that insult. And that's why he committed suicide. That's the thing. It is an insult from a relative is worse than death, especially when one in well situated. So if people come to know that you made a big mistake, like sometimes people they some reasons their their family member goes to prison and they commit suicide also. It's so insulting for them. Array, your family member, they did this and they went to jail. They cannot handle. Like so many suicides happen because of this only. It's worse than death. Because insult is more painful. And Arjuna is also saying the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna tells to Arjuna, Array, if they insult you, you cannot handle it. If in spite of this instruction you decide to go neglecting my words, the fruits will not be good for you. So Lord Shiva told whatever he has to tell, and he gave the final warning also. You are the most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relatives, this insult will immediately be equal to death. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta Purport, the fourth canto, third chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. Now, here, Lord Shiva gave the warning, and Sati, how she will react. She says, Maitreya Uvacha, Etavad Ukva Viraram Sankara पंत्यंगनाशमह्ये उभयत्र चिन्तयन् सुहृद्दिदृक्षु परिशङ्किता भवान् नैष्क्रामति निर्विशति विधासत् सा. The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati. First Sati spoke. She gave proper reasons. Lord Shiva agreed with all her reasons, but he added two, three more points. He's telling everything, whatever he said, right. But these people are not going to treat you nicely. They will be insulting, and that insult will be worse than that, because they are having false identification, all this bodily identification. Even though they may be having externally some good things, but because they identify with the body, they cannot appreciate self-realized personality like me. They are envious of me. And because of their connection, your connection with me, they will insult you. For you, it will be worse than that. So he clarified it. Now, point here is that uh, it is so difficult for a person in a bodily conception of life to appreciate a person who is self-realized. And this is always there from the beginning of creation, not only now. Now anyway it is very gross. People, they make fun of all these spiritual people. But it was there in the beginning of creation also. Sati's, yeah, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati. Seeing her between decisions, Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house. At the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out of the room as a swing moving in this way and that. She is afraid of Shiva's warning, not Lord Shiva. he he gave warning. Now she is thinking about the warning and she is thinking about going to her father's house. Both the things are like she's swinging. Senayor Ubhayor Madhya Ratam Sthapayam Achyuta. When Krishna, when Arjuna tells Krishna that keep my chariot in between the two armies, this is actually the problem for many of us also. We are not able to decide this way or that way, this way or that way, whether I should do this seriously, that seriously. This is the confusion. When Arjuna is telling keep me in between, that means it shows I am confused. If you are on the other side, it is very clear. Okay, I am here. That means I am going to do. I know what I do. I'll do it. But if you are in between, that is a problem. And here Sati is also in between. Because one time she wanted to go, but another side she also remembers the warning. She said, worse than that, worse than that, worse than that is ringing in her ears. It is worse than that. Another side, she is seeing so many airplanes are going above, all are nicely dressed and nicely singing and praising the Vajpayee sacrifice, and they are going. Another side, worse than that. So that also is coming. So now we'll see her reaction here. This is that Suhudriksha Pratigatha Durmana Snehadrudya Asasru Kala Tibihvala Bhavam Bhavanya Aprati Purusham Rusha Pradakshati Vaikshatya Jatave Pathu. Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to see her relatives at her father's house. And due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. She was very upset with him. She's angry because he gave her warning. Normally, she would not have seen that. If somebody goes against our will, then immediately we become upset with them. And it is same with, and these are the qualities that are manifested. And she is the personification of all these qualities. So she can best manifest all the womanly qualities, Mother Sati, because she is the personification of it. And everybody gets all the qualities from her only. So she is showing it to the very nice extent. And she is projecting this is how everybody will behave. She is setting the precedence. If anything goes against you, you can be upset here. You can justify when you become upset. You say this is all Mother Sati only. She gave it to all of us. That's the ideal wife and husband, like Shiva and Parvati are also, or Sati and Shiva. And he gave nice warning, but Sati did not hear. She's upset, and it's actually natural only. The word aprati purusham used in this verse means one who has no equal. Lord Shiva has no equal in the material world in regard to equality towards everyone. So he is very, very neutral. He is very uh, with all living entities. You don't have any enmities. His wife Sati knew that her husband was equal towards everyone. She is equal. So why in this case was he so unkind to his wife that he did not allow her to go to her father's house? That's what she is thinking. This distressed her more than she could tolerate, and she looked at her husband as if she was ready to blast him with his with her vision. So in other words, since Lord Shiva is Atma, Shiva also means Atma. It is indicated here that Sati was prepared to commit suicide. Another meaning of the word uh, Apratipurusha is the personality who had no rival. Since Lord Shiva could not be persuaded to give her permission, Sati took shelter of woman's last weapon. Prabhupada is also telling weeping, which forces a husband to agree to the proposal of his wife. And nobody can do anything, When somebody is weeping, we feel, Arey, why I'm so hard, why I'm so heavy on somebody, let it go away, let it be. Children also take shelter of weeping. Of course, uh, my mother also sometimes, she also, then everybody will come back. They have to come to their compromise because they are crying. So this is the last weapon. Sati's also started weeping, and Lord Shiva didn't had any option now. She says, thereafter Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half of his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Now we may ask the question, Array, Lord Shiva is so self-realized, he could have made her wife also self-realized. Like Karda Muni, all the merits of his austerities, half of which he gave to Mother Devahuti. So Shiva could have given some self-realization. According to Vedic conception of family, the husband gives half of his body to his wife and the wife gives half of her body to husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic marital relationships exist between Lord Shiva and Lord Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, woman becomes very much attached to the members of her father's house, and this happened to Sati. So in this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstanding between the husband and wife, as found, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. Yeah, no comments on this. Prabhupada already gave. But one point I want to add is that most of the diverse proposal is given by women. And women are shocked. They never expect that this is going to happen. And then they get notice from wife. Okay, thank you very much. Gail Mataji, you had some question. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, I can't disappoint you. So I wish you would explain why the separation between man and wife would be generally due to womanly weakness and not to the fault of the husband.
Because you are asking right person to wrong person. I am. If I tell
you
anything,
you opened this Pandora's box, Prabhu.
maybe tomorrow we'll take. So-
Okay, I will let you slide on this. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Sita Kantu.
Hare Krishna, Rohit, Dandasana. Prabhuji, I have a general doubt that, like, when we take our birth, Srila Prabhupada says that in some of the lectures, our number of number of breathings are cycles are fixed. The amount of money we're going to earn is fixed.
Yeah,
The happiness and distress.
yeah,
So probably that. Mm, so the death time is also fixed, probably.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And some one incident happened, probably that two brahmachari devotees and they went for a bath. And so, one devotee, he did not know he didn't know swimming, just he was taking bath. And somehow he got into inside the river, and one more devotee went to protect him. And unfortunately, both were left the bodies. So then I had a doubt that both are dedicated to the life, and generally death time also fixed. So this is a sudden incident, and nobody can they're very young devotees, and nobody could imagine that they would leave their bodies. So in this context, like how do we understand those?
Yeah, maybe that is the time for them to leave the body. How will we know? So that is the time to leave the body.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, so Krishna must have already planned for them. Okay, this is the time you live, and then they may be having some other place to go. Because it is not just them, no, it is connected to the parents and other people connected to them. So if they have to go to some problems in their life of not having a child or separation from the child, so their karma is also connected. Na? These devotees may not have karma, this Krishna is taking care. But the people connected to them, they may have this karma of losing their child at younger age, and they may be having some other things. The brothers and sisters may also have karma of losing their brother or sister or something. So that is also there, no? Not just devotees.
and one more thing, probably recently one accident happened, a devotee, unfortunately. So I was mentioning, and so after that, I'm getting scared to watch. Earlier, I was thinking, I mean, if you take care properly, take care of ourselves, and we follow all we maintain basic rules, and nothing will happen. But the accident incident happened, and generally, my understanding was okay, the death is fixed. So when the time comes, okay, we will leave the body. But one accident that one devotee, unfortunately, night he was not taking proper rest, and it committed an accident. And then so many discussions came between the devotees, and so some devotees are telling, nothing is fixed. I mean, it is fixed, but we cannot predict anything. Anything can happen any moment. And suppose, let us say, I'm driving on the car. I'm driving the road, and some fellow is not he has drunk or whatever reason, or he could not take rest properly, and he could not control the driving, and he comes and hit other person who is going on the road. Then where is that it's a loss of nature and loss of control, Prabhuji. Means, you
Yeah,
understand, Prabhuji?
if it is there that we have to leave our body, even a person can sleep in the bathroom and he will hit his head to the wall and he will die there also. Then you'll stop going to bathroom. So
uh,
if it is there for that time to die, he need not die on the road. He can die in bathroom also. He can slip from the staircase. He can while eating something will get stuck in his throat and he cannot breathe and he may die also. So there are so many ways to die.
I strongly believe, Prabhuji, that Krishna is our
Yeah,
death
don't
time is
worry.
fixed, and
We should not be so much conscious about what like these things. We should be conscious about Krishna. Don't be conscious about my death. Be conscious about Krishna. Krishna will do. If you he feels that we have to leave our body tomorrow, we are okay. Krishna knows better for us. So why we should be afraid?
because na, Prabhuji,
Conscious about death.
again we have to take the birth and have to enter our mother. So general, I'm telling. Given the opportunity for
Whatever
us.
is good for you, Krishna will do. If Prabhupada
Mm.
also took birth, na Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur took birth. All the acharyas took birth.
Okay.
If it is good, if you are going to uh, get birth and you are going to be in the again in the association about devotees, what is the problem?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Don't be so
Okay.
much.
So we not worry about all.
We should not be conscious about death. We should be conscious about Krishna.
Okay, very much. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Whatever is good will happen, don't worry. Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Thank you all very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.